Today, you're going to be researching which fonts you want to use for your project. It's useful to start by establishing the difference between three common terms that you hear whenever you are doing some type of hand lettering. That is, hand lettering, calligraphy, and typography. People often confuse these three ways of creating letters, so we're going to look at the difference between the three of them. Calligraphy is handwritten rather than hand-drawn. It joins letters together into words using a broad-tipped instrument like a dip pen or brush, and largely follows established alphabets and rules. It's a discipline through which you learn controlled and artistic penmanship in compositional form. Now, hand lettering is typically completely free-form, unique, and usually created for one single use. In practice, though, you can even trace your favorite designs while you're learning or trying out new styles. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be copying fonts and drawing them out. Because hand lettering is all about drawing and having fun. It has guidelines, but few rules, which was why we're going to be using it for our project. Typography is the design of printed letters. While it's also about making visually appealing letters, typography is different from hand lettering in that the exact style of a letter can be replicated again and again. Typographers combine and arrange existing fonts to enhance their overall design. You can learn a lot from typography that applies to your hand lettering, which is why we're going to be choosing fonts that are considered typography style fonts into our own work. But instead of just printing them on our drawing, we're going to be drawing them out, which makes them hand letters. So now that you know the difference between calligraphy, hand lettering, and typography, let's get started and learn how to create beautiful hand lettering styles ourselves. Now there are three fundamental styles of hand lettering. There's serif, sans serif, and script. This is a great starting point that will allow you to develop different lettering styles, as well as to explore which type suits your specific project. A serif is a small line attached at the top or bottom, or even both, of the main strokes of a letter. It was actually developed by carvers in ancient Roman times when letters were hammered into stone. A serif made the individual letters easier to distinguish from each other, which is pretty cool. Early printers used serif fonts for books and newspapers as it was believed that they made reading easier. So serifs can also be used to make lettering look more serious and important. So here we have this camp. This is called a slab serif, and it has a no-nonsense look that is good for things like important notices, while this Gothic serif is rather more whimsical and attention-grabbing, so it's good for party invitations and posters. But it can also be great if you have like a circus theme or something that's just way more playful. You can notice that there's many variations of serif in this image here. We have cup serifs, slab bracketed serifs, Tuscan serifs, a regular serif, condensed serif, and extended serif. I'll just read this little quote on the upper right side. It says, "The key to serif success is to make sure that they are consistent and similar across all letters within a word. So as a general rule, serif shouldn't extend far from the main letter strokes, although of course it's up to you how you want your lettering to look." Here are some amazing examples of serif lettering that was done by one of my favorite graphic designers and illustrators, Jessica Hische. In a lot of her work, though, she combines different styles of lettering and different styles of lettering within the style itself. So, for instance, we have, the Tuscan or Gothic serif in the right way one, but we also have extended out serifs in the word the. So she's changing things up to make her work look more varied and attention-grabbing. The second type of lettering is sans serif. Sans serif is a style of lettering without any accents, strokes attached to the main letters. The word sans is actually a French word that means without. Sans serif script first appeared in the 5th century BC, but disappeared during the classical revival and the Renaissance. Then it reappeared in the 20th century with a more streamlined modern look. Because they are easier to read, sans serif fonts are often used for children's books. It's a very relaxed style for hand lettering and is ideal for more informal projects and messages. One way to be playful with your sans serifs is to add effects. You can use a rectangular shape as a guide for your hand lettering to add depth to your letters. You can even draw simple black shapes coming out from the letter stems to create a 3D effect. Careful use of shading can make the 3D effect even more dramatic by highlighting each letter differently, making it look as though they're jumping off the page. So this stuff is very whimsical, playful, and like I said, it has a very modern feel and is great for children style stories. So if you have a story that's geared more towards children, you might want to just consider using sans serif in the work. And sans serif lettering is great if you want to achieve a modern feel. It has no frills, it's clean, and has a strong visual impact. It gives your message a punch. So you can see here that this has a very contemporary look to it. It doesn't look too old school, and it's a very just a fun, simple, clean style of lettering. The last style of lettering that you can choose for your project is script. Script is a handwriting style based on fluidly joining letters together using a nib or brush pen. You don't have brush pens, so you're going to have to create the look of a brush pen by enlarging the width of some of your lines and having it get thinner again. The look of script is definitely eye-catching, but you must work it out carefully first or it could become messy and lose its effectiveness. When it's well done, these elegant examples, it becomes a beautiful type of hand lettering. So you can see that there's lots of fluid in the drawn out words and letters. I love this middle one where they're having hand lettering be the main part of the composition and then they're making their drawing inside the text. That could be a very interesting way that you guys tackle how you design out your novel by doing something similar to that. A lot of artworks that have hand lettering in them combine two different styles of lettering. You could see some serif, some sans serif. You have even all three of them combined together in the middle one. So know that for your own project, if it's going to be best to combine two different styles, that's fine. You'll just have to find fonts that show each style that would be best for your project. Today, you're going to have to take the quiz on Schoology to review the 3 different styles of fonts. Then, using Pinterest, find 4 examples of hand lettering compositions you like and will use as inspiration for your project. Copy and paste all 4 examples onto your illustration idea board, labeling what you like about each one. Third, choose a style of font that will work best for your project. So you might want to review the video to see which fonts best fit your intent or your novel or short story. You can choose from the serif, sans serif, or script, or use a combination of more than one. To find fonts, you're going to go to fonts.google.com or dafont.com. Find 3 different fonts in your chosen style that you could draw for your project. Copy and paste images of all 3 fonts onto your illustration idea board. You're going to have to label the style of the font as well as provide the name of the font. Fonts.google.com looks like this. When you pull it up, it's going to give you this generic quote of almost before we knew it, we had left the ground. Well, if you go to this custom tab here, you can actually type in what the text is going to be in your actual book cover or short story. So for mine, I'm doing dinosaurs, if I can spell dinosaurs, love tacos. So now I can see what all the different fonts look like. I'm choosing to do a sans serif because it has a more childlike quality. So I'm going to stay away from fonts that have the little tabs on it. So I really like this one. So if you like it, go down to where we're seeing the dinosaur love tacos phrase on the top, and you can just take a screenshot of your screen. And then what I did is I kind of modified it to where I'm only seeing maybe just the text to see what that looks like. And then you can save this onto your photos. You can then copy and paste that font that you like and put it directly into your Notability document. You can see here I have 3 different fonts. I've labeled the style of font that it is. So this is sans serif for all 3 of them. And then I provided the name of the font that I've gotten for that work. Above are my 4 examples of fonts in a different type of composition. I like the top left and bottom right one. I loved how they had the imagery overlap the fonts. It has this like figure ground relationship layering going on. And the Coraline one, I loved how the fonts are then incorporated into the surrounding imagery. And then the bottom left one, I like how the font is a negative shape because the background is fully covered in. So I've clearly labeled what I like about it. I have 4 images in 3 fonts, and that's what you're going to have to put into your illustration board that you worked on yesterday. All of this needs to be turned in by midnight tonight. So good luck, have fun, and good luck finding some great font compositions and then fonts that you could draw for your final project.